All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Angela Richards, and I am the proud owner of ADR Vacations. And my passion lies in crafting immersive Black heritage tours that provide a deep connection to our roots and culture. Last year, I had the opportunity to host a small group to Cartagena, Colombia, where we visited the Palenque, which is the first free African town in the Americas. And I felt such a strong connection, and it was so moving, and it nourished my soul in such a way that it made me realize that this is the type of meaningful travel experience that I'd like to host. So when I heard about AmaWaterways' Soulful Epicurean Cruises, I was immediately intrigued and knew this was something that was just right up my alley. So tonight I'm thrilled to introduce Rob Huffman, a seasoned expert in the cruise industry and currently the director of field sales at AmaWaterways. Rob's passion for the colors of Provence itinerary is unmatched, and he's here to share his extensive knowledge with us. During Rob's presentation, if you have any questions to come to mind, please feel free to type them in the chat and we'll address them at the end of the session. And I've also put some links in the chat that you might find useful. And now, without further ado, let's welcome Rob Huffman.
Angela, thank you so much. Hi, good evening, everybody. I've got to tell you, Angela, oh my gosh, you did the Cartagena and Palenque. And,
Yes.
and, and I know we're going sideways here, but later this year, brand new itinerary for AmaWaterways, the only river cruise line doing the Magdalena River in Colombia, South America. So you were talking about that. I was getting goosebumps hearing you talk about your experience. So thank you for sharing that. Again, good evening, everybody. As Angela mentioned, my name is Rob Huffman, and we're delighted to have you here with us this evening to learn a little bit about exactly who AmaWaterways is, our hardware, software, destinations, and more importantly, an incredible opportunity that we have to share with you this evening, and that's our Soulful Experience sailings, in particular one that sails Provence, the south of France. So before we get into that, I want to share a little bit about who we are overall. And at AmaWaterways, I'm asked frequently, Rob, is it AmaWaterways or AMA? Is it an acronym for something? And it is AmaWaterways. And at AmaWaterways, we truly believe Ama means love. And the love that is our organization starts with these three people that you see here. We are family owned and operated. The gentleman on your left is Rudy Schreiner. He's originally from Austria. And Rudy, believe it or not, was the president of a very well known, very well recognized river cruise line back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Rudy's also been instrumental in the startup of three other river cruise lines. But while he was president of this other company, he met a person by the name of Christine Karst, whom you see pictured in the middle here. Rudy and Christine decided they wanted to go out and start their own river cruise line. Rudy and Christine met a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Murphy. Jimmy at the time was the principal, the owner of an Irish tour operator. He sold that company to another entity within the travel industry, joined forces with Rudy and Christine, and over 20 years ago, we launched our very first river cruise. Unfortunately, 2014, Jimmy passed away. His son, who you see pictured on the right, Gary, had already been an instrumental part of our team at AmaWaterways. But upon his father's passing, he picked up his legacy and became a very integral part of our executive ownership team. Everything we do as a company starts with these three people you see here, and the love that is AmaWaterways truly emanates from these three, not only to our shipboard staff and crew, but certainly to our shoreside employees as well. Now, when we talk about river cruising, it's much different than ocean cruising. If you've ever done an ocean cruise, you know you go around islands or along coastlines. When you sail the rivers, you sail right through the heart of the destination. Our philosophy at AmaWaterways is that oceans take you to countries, rivers take you through countries. At AmaWaterways, we sum up the river cruise experience in two words: cultural immersion. It's about the opportunity for you as our guests to truly wrap your arms around the history, the culture, the traditions, the cuisines, the art of these incredible destinations that we sail to. And oh, by the way, we're sailing the highways of yesteryear. You have this ever present, ever changing scenery on either side of the ship for the entire length of your cruise. So it really does make for a wonderful experience. One of the other things I really enjoy and like to point out when it comes to river cruising, it's a very intimate setting. The average capacity of our fleet is 150 guests. Think about those ocean liners that are out there today. Angela and I just saw one that was launched this past week. It holds over 7,500 people. You won't have that experience on the rivers. It's all about the destination and you truly having that ability to enjoy these great places that we're sailing to. One of the great things I like about river cruising is the majority of the time we pull right into the port of call. I'm not exaggerating here. We lower the gangway. You take a dozen or 2 dozen steps, you are in the heart of the destination. You're right there in the city center where all the action takes place. You're not queuing up with 1,000 of your closest friends waiting to get off the ship, or better yet, you're not waiting to get off of your ship onto another watercraft that then takes you into port. No way. We go right into the port of call, lower the gangway, and there you are. Now, when we start to talk about the onboard experience, I'm not going to go through all of these bullet points with you. We've already talked family owned and operated, and we'll talk about most, if not all of these throughout the course of the presentation. But you know, I'm asked very frequently, Rob, help me understand what differentiates AmaWaterways from the other river cruise lines that are out there. One thing that I didn't share with you earlier is that I've had the opportunity throughout my career to work for two other river cruise lines. I've never been on a bad river cruise, so please don't think I'm speaking ill about any of the other products. Rather, wanting to share with you where we differentiate from some of our friendly competitors. I had the opportunity while I was working for one of the other river cruise lines to sail aboard AmaWaterways in 2018, again, as a competitor, walking around with a very critical eye, trying to understand what we did at the time, a different product. What did we do better than AmaWaterways? I can look you all in the eyes and share with you there was not one thing that we did better. At AmaWaterways, the food was fantastic. The excursions were terrific, but there was one thing that really stood out more than anything else. That was the service. When I say the word no does not exist when it comes to our staff aboard the ships, I mean it sincerely. Their number one objective is to exceed your expectations as our guests. All English speaking, all professionally trained. We want you coming home telling all your friends and family, and of course, your spectacular travel advisor and Miss Angela, that you had a wonderful time and you're ready to book your next AmaWaterways cruise. Now, I mentioned a moment ago about that ever-present, ever-changing scenery. Because we have access to land, we have access to local and regional entertainments, jazz musicians, dance troupes, string quartets. During the holidays, very common to see a children's choir come aboard and perform for you. It's, again, all about that cultural immersion and you really enjoying yourselves while you're in the destination. We also have wellness instructors aboard all of our ships throughout Europe and Southeast Asia. If you want to continue your exercise routine while you're on vacation, you can do that. Obviously, it's not mandatory, but we have wellness instructors that offer yoga, Pilates, spin classes, stretch classes on just a myriad of different opportunities. You'd be surprised how many people enjoy participating in these. Again, it's there for you if you'd like to participate. This is a real big one when we start talking about where AmaWaterways separates itself from other river cruise lines. When you start researching, when you start planning to book a river cruise, you will very likely hear a shore excursions included in every port of call. And while that's very true, what you might not hear from some of the other river lines is they offer one shore excursion in port of call, and that shore excursion is usually a city tour. When you sail with the AmaWaterways, we offer anywhere from 2 to 6 shore excursions in every single port of call, included in the cost of your cruise. The other river lines will offer you optional tours, but those optional tours will cost you anywhere from $50 to $200 per person per tour, depending on the destination. We offer hiking, biking, wine tastings, beer tastings, city tours, museum visits, steam train rides. I mean, the list literally goes on and on and on. Again, all included in the cost of your cruise. We also recognize that not all of our guests are cut from the same cloth. What do we mean by that? Well, we know some guests may want to move at a little bit slower pace, not as many steps, not as many hills or cobblestone streets, but they certainly want to see everything just like everyone else does. We can do that. We offer a gentle walker tour in every port of call. We have a regular walker tour as well. And if you, again, are the type of person that wants to kind of get the heart pumping and the blood racing, you can do so with our active walker tours. We also offer bike tours. The bike tours range in length from 5 miles to upwards of 30 miles. Let me put you at ease. It is not a race. It's not the Tour de France by any stretch. It's a leisurely bike ride and absolutely lovely to enjoy this as you're winding through vineyards or through small villages. It really is very enjoyable. We have a tour guide at the front, a tour guide at the back. You'd be surprised at how many people participate and enjoy the bicycle tours. We also offer complimentary Wi-Fi, and we recommend before you join us that you download the My Ama Cruise app. The app in and of itself has all of your e-documents, have all of your shore excursions, have all of your daily activity, everything right in the palm of your hands. So it really is a nice little feature to have when you're sailing with us. Now, here's another big differentiator: food. Everybody loves food when they go on a cruise, right? Well, at AmaWaterways, we take tremendous pride in delivering exceptional Epicurean experiences. When you sail with us, just like all the other cruises you may have experienced, all your meals and snacks are included while you're aboard the ship. We're also going to throw in beer, wine, and soft drinks included with lunch and dinner. We also have our sip and sail happy hour every afternoon, about an hour, hour and a half before dinner, where all of your cocktails are included. So if you want that margarita or that lemon drop martini, that Cosmo, that vodka soda, whatever, it's included in the cost during happy hour. Now, there's a few things we do a little bit differently than some of the friendly competitors that are out there. Number one, we were very honored and humbled to have been invited to become members of Le Châne de Rôtisseur. If you're not familiar, this is one of, if not the highest culinary recognition that a travel company, a hospitality organization can receive. Every one of our ships have this recognition. That sets the bar pretty high right there when it comes to your dining. But again, we don't stop there. If you've cruised recently, you're likely aware of alternative dining. On the big ships these days, you have your main dining room, but then they have a steakhouse or Italian or Asian fusion where you can go and enjoy those as well. But typically, there's a surcharge that's associated with dining in those venues. Our spin on the alternative dining is our chef's table specialty experience. This is a 6 to 7 course meal, multiple wines shared throughout the course of the evening. Our chef comes out before every single course, and he or she will speak to the preparation, the ingredients, the presentation, the wine that's paired with it, and why. Every one of our guests, at least one time throughout the cruise, has the opportunity to enjoy the chef's table specialty dining, included in the cost of your cruise. We're not going to nickel and dime you when you sail with AmaWaterways. Even more importantly, No other river cruise line offers this experience. If they did, I would wager they would charge $150 per person. It's that kind of an experience. Our guests give us pretty high marks when it comes to the dining overall. When they talk about the chef's table, it goes through the roof. It's very, very special. Now, when we talk about the fleet, for those of you that have never taken a river cruise, I like this section of the presentation. Today, we have river ships that accommodate anywhere from 28 to 196 guests. We have 25 ships sailing the legendary rivers of the world. By 2025, we will have 29 ships. This gives you an idea of what one of our typical river vessels looks like. It may surprise you to learn that as you sail throughout Europe, doesn't matter which river cruise line or travel company that you're sailing with, all of our ships are the same size. We can only be this long and this wide because we go through locks up and down the rivers. We have to be able to fit into those locks. Why is this important to you? Well, it's important to you because when you sail with AmaWaterways, we accommodate 25 to 30% fewer guests than some of our friendly competitors. That means more elbow room on the ships. That means smaller tour groups on your shore excursions. That means we have a swimming pool and bicycles and chef's table. We have a salon and a spa and a fitness room. All these additional amenities, we're not just trying to cram as many people on the ship as we possibly can. This is, and that gives you an idea of our signature stateroom accommodation, easily our most popular. It's our twin balcony. You'll notice here over the bed, on the left-hand side, you'll see there that the veranda, right? That's where you walk out with your glass of wine or your coffee and your tablet or book. You sit down, you enjoy the sights, sounds, and fresh air. On the opposite side, over the champagne bucket and the chair, is a French balcony. The door is open. It allows the fresh air to come in. You just can't walk out and sit down. We have other accommodations from which to choose that will range in square footage from 170 square feet to over 700 square feet. Minimum, at minimum, every one of our staterooms offers a river view. We have no interior, no inside accommodations on any of our ships. So this gives you an idea of what we're all about at AmaWaterways. We've talked hardware, we've talked software, we've talked what differentiates AmaWaterways. So hopefully now let's talk a little bit about destinations. We sail the legendary rivers of the world. We're in Portugal on the Douro River there. We're in France, Bordeaux, Provence, Paris to the beaches of Normandy. I mentioned earlier we're going to start the Magdalena River later this year. We're in Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia. We're also in South Africa, where we offer a cruise tour combination where we spend time in Cape Town, eventually on the Chobe River, before making our way to Victoria Falls and Johannesburg. We're also in Egypt, very popular itinerary. And then, of course, our sweet spot is right here through the heart of Europe, where we sail from the Netherlands all the way, the Rhine, the Main, the Danube, the Mosel rivers, just to name a few, almost all the way to the Black Sea. That's where you find most of our ships. But tonight, we are here to talk about, Angela and I were talking about this earlier before everyone came and joined us. We're here to talk about Provence. And more importantly, we're here to talk about the soulful experience that we're offering that focuses on Black heritage and the destination. The soulful experience on the Ama Christina Colors of Provence itinerary that we've selected is for August 21st in 2025. So we got lots of time to plan and prepare, but I will share this with you. Please do not wait too long. Again, Angela and I were talking about this earlier, and I'll share this again at the end of the presentation. These sailings are in really, really high demand. So they sell very, very quickly. And Angela was very fortunate to have secured some group space. This particular itinerary that you see here is all about the south of France and Paris. It is, again, it is my favorite itinerary. You can see here you're going to spend 10 days, 10 nights, 11 days enjoying all that this region of France has to offer. The beautiful lavender that is within this region for sure. But we make our start in a town by the name of Arles. Arles is very unique in that it has a tremendous amount of Roman influence. Look at that architecture that you see there. On the left, that's the amphitheater that's still in use today. It's amazing when you visit Europe. Just you get a real sense for just how young our country is. These buildings have been standing for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's absolutely amazing. In Arles, you also have the opportunity to really enjoy a couple of different things. There's a walking tour that takes you to a beautiful little cafe that Vincent van Gogh featured in one of his early paintings as well. But from Arles, you also have the opportunity to do a full day Black Heritage tour to Marseille, France. So it really is just a wonderful port of call with some terrific excursion opportunities. We eventually make our way to Avignon, France. Avignon is just a beautiful destination. Believe it or not, Avignon in the 14th century was home to the Catholic Church for 100 years. It really what we know as the modern day Vatican City, right? This was where the Catholic Church was located. And you see this bridge in front of us that has suffered through all the wars that have raged in this region. But it's a former walled city. You have the opportunity not only to tour the Palace of the Popes, but you also have an opportunity to really enjoy just so much of the sites that are offered in this region. One of my favorite has to be Pont de Garde. This is a first century Roman aqueduct that still stands today. You have the opportunity to see this, to walk across it. It is absolutely mesmerizing to see this beautiful structure. From there, we eventually make our way as well into Toron, where you can just there's a multitude of excursions from biking to wine tastings, and of course you can't have a wine in this region without chocolates as well. So there's a steam trade ride that we offer in this port of call as well. There's so much to see and do, and you're going to have an opportunity to do most, if not all of it. We eventually make our way into Vienne. This was a port of call. My wife and I did I think it's about a 10 or 11 mile bike tour, very relaxing, again, very leisurely, but you're riding through these vineyards. And again, another town that's got just some incredible Roman architecture. You have the opportunity for a beautiful walking tour. We're going to have a jazz performance for you on a couple of these ports of calls as well. And then we eventually make our way to one of my favorite cities in all of France, Lyon. Lyon is known for its fantastic wine. This whole region is known for incredible wines, but Lyon's known for the Burgundies and the Beaujolais. You also are known for the fantastic French food in this particular port of call. One of the shore excursions you have an opportunity to do is to visit a vineyard if you'd like and sample the Beaujolais wines. One of my personal favorite excursions in Lyon. Lyon is home to a gentleman by the name of Paul Bocuse. He passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. Paul Bocuse is a world-renowned chef, and his fingerprints are all over this beautiful town. And we had the opportunity to visit Le Hall, which is a food market where you have the opportunity, of course, to sample some of the incredible French cuisine and delights, where his namesake, this food market is kind of named in his honor. So it really is something my wife and I would grab a bottle of wine and some cheeses and some great desserts and pastries, bring it all back to the ship, and we'd have our own little happy hour on our veranda or put it in our refrigerator in our stateroom for later. Something that you all will have an opportunity to really enjoy as well. Now, good news and bad news. The bad news is this is where the cruise ends. The good news is we're not finished yet. From here, we take the TGV, the high-speed train, into Paris. And once we arrive in Paris, you'll spend several more nights with us. One of those days, you will have an incredible and exclusive Josephine Baker experience. As you likely know, Josephine Baker was an American-born French icon, well known as a dancer, a singer, an actress. Just a wonderful day learning all about the impact that this immortalized French actress has had on this region. So it really is a very special experience. The next day, we're going to continue. We're going to do a Black History tour of Paris as well. This will be just a great opportunity to learn where many of the Black artists and writers and entertainers made their mark on this region. There's a number of different opportunities showcasing jazz, African art, and food, and other tremendous experiences as well. So we hope that you will certainly consider joining Angela on this just incredible opportunity and cruise. As I mentioned to you just a moment ago, and I guess it's best to kind of set the table for you on this. We announced our very first Soulful Experience in 2022 for a 2023 sailing in Provence, like we've shared with you this evening. It's sold out that quick. We said, okay, for 2023, we're going to offer two sailings. I'm sorry, for 2024, we're going to offer two sailings. So we offered two sailings. We offered Provence and we offered Egypt. They sold out so fast, we quickly announced another Provence sailing. It sold out for 2024 just as quickly. We said, oh my gosh, we opened up a Portugal departure for 2024. Again, sold out. And so for 2025, we have a couple of different options that have sold very quickly. But again, I got to be honest, this one I love the itinerary and love that Josephine Baker experience is something that we've just gotten rave reviews on, and it's something that, if I'm being honest, it appeals to me. I would love to do this myself. So anyway, Miss Angela, that is what we have. I don't know if we have any questions to this point or not, but I'll be happy to entertain any questions that we might have.
No questions yet, but I have one. You were
Okay.
talking about the bikes. Do they have
Yeah.
tricycles for people who haven't been on a bike in a minute?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but one of the great things about AmaWaterways, all of our cruise managers are there. You can ask them. Remember, it's a very intimate setting. I'm confident if you said, hey, is there any chance for us to get a tricycle? I think we could probably make that happen. I can't guarantee it, but if I know AmaWaterways the way that I do, remember the word no just doesn't exist. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen for you.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have any questions yet, but there are two questions that generally pop up regularly. Number one is, what do we wear? What's the attire like on AmaWaterways, right? When we sail. And so during the day, and this time of year, we want you to be cool, right? So dress comfortably, especially when you're doing the excursions. We just recommend rubber-soled shoes because in Europe, there's a lot of uneven pavement, cobblestones, things of that nature. That's very important. And then for dinner, we just say, please, we like to use casual elegant. Gentlemen, slacks, a button down or a golf shirt. Ladies, my wife will wear a sundress she takes that little black dress with her just about everywhere, capris, things of that nature. We just ask no jeans, no flip-flops, no shorts for dinner.
We do have one question.
Great.
What ages can go on this tour? Are older teens welcome?
Absolutely. So at AmaWaterways, we don't have any restrictions with the exception you have to be 4 or older to sail with us. I'll be honest with you, you're not going to find many 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds on board. We don't have rock climbing walls or whirly slides or a children's program. Remember, it's all about the destination. It's all about that cultural immersion. The older teens, absolutely, or even mid-teens, I think would have a fantastic time. My wife and I took our 3 children on their first river cruise last year. Our youngest at the time was 18. and they had a terrific time. They had a blast.
Um, what's the deposit like?
One more
It's
time, sorry.
the deposit.
Yeah. So another great question. So when you decide it's time to book, we require a deposit of $400 per person, of which $200 becomes non-refundable. 200 per person becomes non-refundable. After that, your final payment's not due until about 90 days prior to departure. So you have lots of time, as I mentioned earlier, to plan, but please don't wait too long because again, we know these sailings sell out very quickly.
Great. Let's see if we have any.
So
Uh,
I mentioned two questions, and I only mentioned the one about attire. The other question that I'm asked frequently, Angela, has to do with travel insurance. And I hope Angela, you'll back me up on this. I cannot overemphasize the importance of travel insurance. Please, especially we learned anything from the pandemic, it's the importance and the value of travel insurance. Please strongly consider purchasing travel insurance. We offer a product at AmaWaterways that you can certainly add on to the cost of your cruise. Angela may have other options for you as well. We don't care where you get it or how you get it, but it really is important. I have seen people save tens of thousands of dollars because they had travel insurance. So it really is important.
Someone asked if uplift is an option when paying for the cruise. Yes, it is. Um,
Fantastic.
just reach out to me and I will gladly send you a link to get started. It's real easy.
Fantastic.
You get a quick response. And the departure the departure county, we depart from Paris, correct?
No, I believe we depart from Arles and end up in
Oh,
Paris.
okay.
Yeah. So you would to get to Arles, you would fly into most likely Marseille, and then it's about an hour away. But when you purchase your air with AmaWaterways, and I'm glad you brought this up, we have a product that we refer to as Air Plus. And I don't know if you've checked the price for airfare to Europe these days, but it's not inexpensive. We offer Air Plus. If you book in advance, we offer economy starting at $8.99 per person. When you purchase your air with AmaWaterways, we include transfer. So that hour transfer, that's included. We have somebody waiting on you when you land in Marseille to take you to the ship.
Right. Is there a single supplement?
That's a great question. And yes, there is. So traditionally in the river cruise industry, the max you would pay is 200%. In other words, you're paying for two people, even though there's only one in the stateroom. With AmaWaterways, the most our solo travelers will ever pay is 150%. So that would be what that supplement is for solos. And very quickly, for the question regarding the teens, right, and kids, we do have triple and select quad accommodations. The quads are typically in the suites, but we do have triple accommodations and connecting staterooms as well.
Is the Colors of Provence Soulful Experience itinerary going to be offered any other dates in 2025?
That's a good question. I'm not positive on that. We'd have to check that and circle back to you. We can definitely look that up, Angela. If
Okay.
I were a betting man, I would say we probably will offer another sailing. I'm not sure that we have that confirmed just yet.
Okay. Uh, I don't think I see any other questions. Oh, the price, if you look on the website that I just put in the chat, there you can see the pricing.
That's it. And remember, pricing includes your cruise, your meals and snacks while you're aboard the ships, beer, wine, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner. It includes 3 nights in Paris. It includes all of your tours. I mean, it really is when you break it down, it includes your Wi-Fi, it includes the happy hour. I mean, there's just so much that's included in the cost of the cruise. So it really is a pretty good value.
All right. Well, if we don't have any, oh, let's see, we got one more. Okay. Yes, I will. After we're done here, I probably tomorrow, I'll send a link to the recording, and I'll also include all the links, the booking links, and the information about Uplift and the information about our roommate matching program. I'll send all of those in an email to everyone.
Well, thank you so much, Angela, for allowing me to come and share some time with you and your potential clients this evening. We really hope and look forward to welcoming everybody aboard in 2025 on this wonderful cruise.
Absolutely. Thank you for this very engaging uh, presentation. And I look forward to seeing you all in France and experiencing France's Black history together. Everybody
Wonderful.
have a good evening.